And we have returned. This is the Ryan Show FM. DJ Honky Wonky on the ones and twos as per norm. Hamptons Dave, socialite of New York City, formerly of the Hamptons, now of Brooklyn. Some call him Brooklyn Dave. Some call him Hoggish Greedsley, in homage to the villain in Captain Planet. Also on the mic is the one and only Mr. Cheeks. And it's an honor to say that... L's up, Mr. Cheeks. We do have... one of my favorite comedians. I've been watching this dude since I was in 3rd grade, 4th grade, staying up until 10 o'clock so I could sneak downstairs into the basement and watch Mad TV. This guy shaped my sixth sense of humor. His impressions are second to none, and it is, once again, with great honor that I introduce the one and only Aries Spears to the Ryan Show FM. What's up, brother, man? How are you?
Good, man. Before we get what up? Before we get started, let me pay homage to one of the dudes who I grew up on. And I actually was just listening to the song today. Shorty, Miss Cheeks.
Renee, do it.
Renee, much love and respect to you, dog, because I'm 45 years old. I don't know how old you are. I think you're a little older than me, because I know when I heard that song coming up in school, we all idolized you. We all idolized that song. So it's an honor to be on the platform with you, man.
Yo, good looking, Aries. You already know, man.
Yeah.
Last time I seen you, we was over at on Keenan I Win show. Ooh, remember that one?
Wow.
Talk show and shit.
Wow, that was
LA, baby.
Ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We smoking that in that green room and all of that.
I'm gonna say right now, because I just listened to the song again today for the 1 millionth time. I'm probably on my next stand-up special and talking about how music has changed. There was a part in the song where you said she was touching on my chest. I started feeling on her breast. There's no need for me to express the rest. Cut to
exactly.
I recently heard a song. I think it was by Ty Dolla, Ty Digger, one of those names. And in the lyrics in the song, he said, "Can you suck a dick and ride my dick like you hook up grits and eggs?" Nice. And I'm just like, where has the class gone? Where has the ability to be dirty and a gentleman gone at the same time?
Yeah, I mean,
this is so flamboyant
and
so over the top now. It's like, where do you take it from there?
Good question. Well, we're going to be finding out tonight. Actually, it's funny you say that. We've got a young kid, 16 years old. He's popping in New York City, and he's one of these new drill rappers. And he's rapping pretty much about what you're talking about, and lots of violence, but you wouldn't expect it. He's a young white boy, so he really stood out. He kind of went viral, but yeah, the direction that it's going in, I guess we'll see. And you know who else we have coming in tonight? Also, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Drez from Black Sheep, which was another one of those groups back in the early 90s that was more of like a conscious rap group.
Right.
Going back to paying some homage, just like you paid some homage to Mr. Cheeks earlier, I've got to pay some homage to you, Aries, because if it weren't for you and the other cast members of MTV and those politically incorrect, hilarious sketches that you guys were performing, the Mike Tyson ones, the Shaq ones, all those great impressions that you were doing, who knows, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Seriously, thank you. And also going back and watching those over the past few days, the older episodes, I wonder if it was improv, because it seemed like you guys were doing a lot of improv during those older episodes of the show.
It was like kind of 50-50. We had the writers who would create what they needed to create for us, but we also had the freedom to implement whatever we wanted to do creatively, which I thought, of course, should be mandatory in any creative process. But at the same time, we flew under the radar. We never got the credit that we deserve, like SNL, because they was the bully on the block. But nonetheless, we was that smaller other show that at some point, in terms of ratings and demographics, we surpassed them. But, we never really got that credit, I think, that we deserved.
Definitely funnier than
a dope ass show. That shit was funny as motherfucker, yeah.
Way better than SNL. I think any person with like any type of sense of humor can watch an episode of Mad TV and laugh more out loud than one of these corny, driveling SNL episodes. I feel like anyone that's like that watches comedy. So that being said, do you feel like SNL ever tried to hinder you guys? Like, did they ever take any direct types of shots, or they were backed by such a history that it didn't even?
Nah. I mean, the truth of the matter is, they were such an entity and such the bully on the block that nobody could fuck with them. That's like trying to say the CBA could fuck with the NBA. It just, no matter how good the CBA talent was, and that's, Dr. J came from that. A lot of other notable NBA players that eventually went to the NBA came from the CBA. But at the end of the day, the NBA was the bully on the block. Saturday Night Live was an entity. So we could only hope to be what they were.
And Mad was an entity in itself, though. I was one of those kids that was subscribed to Mad Magazine. So I read all.
It might have been, and I guess at some point it was, but I don't want to lie. I want to be honest about what it was. Yeah. No matter how good we were, no matter how many people would say you guys are better than them, from a showbiz standpoint, we never could eclipse them. We just couldn't, because they were just too big.
Huge.
Yeah.
And like you said, like the history behind that. I do believe there should be way more credit given to the Mad TV run that you guys had, because it was for years and it was always good. It never really fell off. Mad doesn't exist anymore, right? Last I checked, the magazine is now moved online. The brand itself is kind of diminished a little bit, but is there a chance we'll ever see some type of a Mad TV reunion or anything like that?
Well, there's two parts to your question. Number one, the longer you stick around doing something, you eventually hit highs and lows. Mad TV was around for 14 years. Of the 14 years, I think 8 of them might have been phenomenal. The rest, it was all right. Writers left, cast members left. So we diminished in quality, but that's natural the longer you stay around. It's inevitable. You're just not going to maintain a certain level of excellence being around that long. You understand what I'm saying? It can only last for so long.
It's true.
And then we tried to do a reboot that came and went so quickly because, again, based on the years that I was on there, Mo Collins, Deborah Wilson, Will Sasso, Mike McDonald, Alex Bornstein, we defined the show. So when they tried to do the reboot, it was different circumstances. They didn't come on at 11 o'clock at night. They came on at 8 o'clock. They came on a Wednesday as opposed to a Saturday. And by that time, the industry got so moist and so politically correct that they weren't allowed to get away with what we got away with for so long. So it was doomed to fail.
And it's not just in sketch comedy that the political correctness has made such an impact. It's also on the stand-up. I don't do stand-up, but I always hear from my favorite comedians that they don't want to perform at colleges, that they'll refuse to perform at colleges because the college students will just find some bit of material to go viral and try to bury their career and get them canceled. So
yeah, I never was a fan of colleges, and I stopped doing colleges for that same reason. I'm 45 years old. In the era that I came up in, you could smoke in the clubs. You could talk about all kinds of adult material. You could be raw. Now you can't do that because of sensitivity and cancer culture. So that's just not my speed.
And it's a fine line, especially after seeing some of the events that went down over the past year. But what are your thoughts on the cancel culture?
I hate it. I hate it. It's like f***ing with a condom on. It's terrible.
A very good point. It's pretty much what it is. Like just being hindered. It hinders creativity. And if it's a simple thing. If you don't,
culture is bullshit.
Yeah, I think look, man, we're all adults, and we live in America, a country that is supposed to be so free and so hip that allows you to say and do anything you want, as long as you're not inciting violence or trying to hinder on people's lifestyles. You should be able to say whatever the fuck you want to say. And we become so sensitive and so moist that you're not allowed to do that no more. And it's killing the art form.
Love that term, moist.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
It's a very good term for that. I noticed, too, that you always had been making... a lot of your interviews I saw were on Vlad TV. And Vlad, he's really facing quite a bit of lambasting right now because of his interview methods, and I guess he posted something that wasn't factual, although he did take it down. I guess he refused to apologize. And I know a lot of regulars that have been showing up to Vlad TV have declared that they're no longer going to be showing up. Are we going to be seeing you on Vlad TV again, or what are your thoughts on everything going on with that situation right now?
No, I retired my Vlad card a long time ago, a lot for those same reasons. But then I had some personal issues with Vlad as well. So I'm done with Vlad TV. If there's anybody else that wants to do it, more power to them. But I'm good on Vlad.
But you mentioned personal reasons, so it's nothing to do with what's going on and the accusations and everything else that's been thrown Vlad's way over the past few months?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Yeah. One bleeds into the other. Some of the choices that he's made creatively, like everybody else, I don't agree with. But when it affects you personally, that's a different story.
Well, I can't blame you then. Yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. Sometimes when I'm listening to the interview, it feels like I'm listening to like police questioning or something like that, and he's kind of just propagating a lot of BS. And I get it, I guess, as a journalist, but it just kind of rubs me the wrong way sometimes as a viewer. So
yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, the best journalists have to compliment the artists. One of the greatest things about Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali was that they got each other. They understood each other. They respected each other. They worked with each other, both to accomplish what needed to be accomplished in terms of interviews. But at the same time, there's a personal respect that you should never cross and certain boundaries. And when you are willing to throw those away or those up for the sake of your journalistic integrity, well, then that's a different conversation.
It's a good point. I was going to say, it almost like, is it even journalistic integrity if that's how you're handling the situation? Like you said, you should have an appreciation of what you're really looking into, and yeah, I guess it kind of contradicts that. So I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens with the whole thing, because it seems like people still are going to view it. People don't look away from the car accident. But if you notice, the comments kind of give things away. That's like at least what I notice on YouTube. You can really get a really good gist of what's going on through these YouTube comments, and people really seem to be on the same page and feel the same way as you and many others. So I guess we'll see what happens.
I mean, he's established enough where he could still do his thing, and he has a built-in audience. But nonetheless, if you want to maintain that, I think you still have to stay within the integrity of the relationship between you and the artist. And I think once that gets lost, then you're in trouble.
So you're doing your own podcast now, which I've listened to a few episodes, and it's very enjoyable. Spears and Steinberg podcast. So what made you finally give in to start your own podcast?
Because Hollywood don't hire niggas the same way they do white boys. So you got to come up with different avenues to make them money.
Then I don't know why we started a podcast.
What'd you say, Rob?
Well, what I meant is, if they're hiring white boys in Hollywood, then why are we always doing podcasts?
I said Hollywood don't hire white boys the same way they do niggas. So we always have to have a different avenue for revenue.
Yeah, it's definitely what I hear. I can't say from firsthand experience, but I hear that quite a bit. It's believable when you see a guy of your talent who can do so much between not just like impressions, but you can do it all. So you'd think that you're very hireable, and you'd think someone with your pedigree would be a perfect fit for so many different roles in Hollywood. But it's like you said, I guess it's just kind of a built-in racism that's always been there.
Yeah, Hollywood is very political, man. It's very Hollywood. Cool kids sit with the cool kids, geeks sit with the geeks, jocks sit with the jocks. And unless you're able to play that Hollywood game the right way and tap dance the right way, there's a lot of different minefields that you have to navigate against. And some dudes are good at playing the game more so than others. I'm not one of them dudes, and I'm trying to learn how to play it because, you know, I'd like to leave my mark and a legacy in this game and make a mark and be relevant. But I'm just not good at tap dancing and doing jazz hands.
I heard the same. I used to listen to Patrice O'Neal a lot. And I hear very similar things when I listen to him talk about this stuff. I mean, look, more power to you. And you're in an age where you can just create a podcast and still attain a fan base and retain a fan base. And you've had people that have always watched you for years. Whenever you put out a special, you're going to get the viewership. So do you think that there is, I mean, there's a chance now for you to create your own stratosphere without having to go to Hollywood. So who knows? Maybe this podcast and everything else you're doing really will surface to something.
That's what you hope for. I mean, that's what you hope for.
With COVID and everything, how you keeping up with the comedy? Like, you still finding shows you're doing, you know, through Instagram or any of those, you know, live on the computer shows, or you got clubs aren't open back up over there, right?
Well, a lot of the clubs are open. Of course, there's what do they call it? The capacity, max capacity.
Oh yeah,
it's not the same. Of course, a lot of people got to wear masks. They got to get. They do the thing where they take your temperature before you walk in. But yeah, I don't do that goofy shit. I'm not doing stand up on a computer with no audience. I'm not doing that. So, you know, I maintain my work ethic and my procedure the same way. And I'll wait this shit out till it come around the right way, because any other way I'm doing is an injustice to stand up.
How were they doing it exactly? I saw you did perform. I saw on your Instagram recently you performed. Like, what is a COVID-free or COVID-safe environment?
Like I said, they take your temperature at the door. There's limited seating.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's ways they're trying to adhere to the rules. But all of this shit it sucks. It's terrible.
They have the outdoor comedy now too in New York. We've got friends of ours that are like performing on rooftops. And another thing too is one of my favorite parts of your stand-up were your impressions. Best rap impressions ever of all time, right? We can all agree on that.
Easily.
Hell yeah.
So when you see these new school rappers, we were talking a little bit about the content of what they're speaking about. Are there any like voices or impressions of these new guys that you figured out, or are you not even trying to be a part of it?
No, I don't f- with garbage.
I love that.
Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm a dinosaur. But the era I came up in, the golden age of hip hop, which is the 90s, you had dudes that had talent, lyrical content. Nas, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Biggie, Tupac, Nasir. So I come from that era. So I can't. I know the best thing for you to do is adapt, but I adapt at what cost? I can't do garbage.
It's kind of the same thing that you were talking about, like having to deal with the hoops and ladders of Hollywood, or tap dancing, as you would say. That's good. Hey, you're sticking to what you love, and that's
like you tune into the young boys. Like, tune into the young boys. For what?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to kiss Mr. Cheek's ass, but I'm being honest. He's my era. I grew up with him. I you know, when you listen to lyrics,
each other's era, no question.
And I'm about lyrical content. That's why when I listen to that song, and he goes, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, on my chest, on a breast, ain't no need for me to stress the rest. It's the classiest way of being dirty and clean at the same time. And it seemed like so much of this shit now is shock value. I put my dick in the mouth. I came him on the face. We gang fucked up. Like, nigga, where's the lyrics?
Sounds like quite a night, though. It's so trash. You can't even listen to the radio. It's just all the music out right now. It's tough.
It's definitely brutal. And it kind of is the same thing with stand-up comedy. I mean, just look at your comedy, how even though you might be talking about some offensive subjects, you package it in a way that anyone that has a sense of humor will be able to be entertained by it and relate to it. So I've been looking for new comedians, and I just haven't been able to find any that are cut from that same type of cloth as some of the greats and the people that I grew up watching. Are there any that you can recommend to us?
Nah, man. My favorites are Dave Chappelle, who I think is the king of comedy of this generation, and the late great Patrice O'Neal, who I thought was like the biggie of comedy before he passed.
The best, man. Love Patrice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrice is all about.
Yeah.
He taught me about women. I remember being a kid being like, and I just listened to his rants. Who was him and the Brown Phillips show?
Yeah.
He was the man. Dante Nero too.
Yeah. The what do they call it? The Mr. Phillip.
Yep. Classic. And that was on Sirius for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens to the future of stand-up comedy, considering that these guys are now walking on eggshells during their whole come-up and these beginning years. But it feels like, looking at some of the better comedians, that they kind of come into their own later in life anyway. So, I mean, they're not all like you, right? I mean, you started at, what, very, very young age, like 16 or something like that?
I started at 14. I did Def Jam when I was 16. Showtime at the Apollo when I was 17. And then moved to LA that same year.
That's insane. So what was it that got you into comedy in the first place at such a young age?
You know, Eddie Murphy was my hero. He was my era. You know, Richard Pryor. Of course, you tip your hat to all the pioneers and the great ones before you. Richard Pryor, Stephen Fetchit, Mantan Moreland, Moms Mabley, Red Fox, Bill Cosby. But Richard Pryor was my dad's era. Eddie Murphy was my era. And watching Eddie Murphy on SNL made me want to do comedy. So I started at 14 because I know he started at 14. And the rest is history.
That's incredible. So to think that nobody encouraged you to start too, and that you just saw them and you were inspired to start doing stand-up comedy at that age is pretty incredible. And to be doing Def Jam at 16, just wild stuff. Like you said, the rest is history. And Aries, really quick, we should plug all the social media because we got to get to a quick break, play some music. And if you want, you can even pick out what song we go into. I know you have the same taste in music that we do. Yeah. So if you give us a track, we'll lead into that. But first, where can they find you on Instagram?
I'm under Aries Spears, blue verification check mark. My podcast is called Spears and Steinberg, a.k.a. the Jew and the Jerk. And I always tell people, hit me up on Instagram in my DMs. I'll send you the links. But it's available on all streaming platforms, Amazon, Google Play, Anchor, Apple, Spotify. Everything else is the same. My YouTube is a Spearsburg Pod. Instagram, I got a Spearsburg Pod. Facebook's everything Spearsburg Pod.
So there you have it. Hilarious podcast. Go check out his stand-up too. Cheeks and I were on a road trip from North Carolina to New York, and he puts on your stand-up comedy, puts on your last special. So we were dying. Actually, that's what prompted us to get you on here was we DM'd you from the Ryan Show account while we were driving from North Carolina to New York watching your special. We were like, yo, and we had some stories. I told him the Mad TV stories about me sneaking downstairs when I was a kid. So, hey, things come full circle here in life.
I appreciate it, baby.
Dude, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, yo. No doubt.
Why don't we play some Lost Boyz going into this break? We'll play some Mr. Cheeks. We'll play some DMX and some of the other legends that Aries Spears can do impressions of. Why not? We'll hit him with that. This is the Ryan Show.
Throw some Nas.
Little Nasir in there.
Matter of fact, hold on. But don't just play the Nas we know. Play Nas, this particular song, because when I talk about lyrical ability, talent, and what separates our generation from the youth is ability. So play Nas's Rewind.
Nas, Rewind. This is the Ryan Show FM with Aries. On the playlist, you will see it there, folks. We will be back. We have returned. This is the Ryan Show FM. Chilling out here with the one and only Mr. Cheeks, socialite Hamptons Dave, and the very, very funny Aries Spears. And enter the Zoom chat now as we return from some fire 1990s hip-hop is a new rapper. A rapper who's gone viral in the past couple weeks. 917 Rackz is in the building. I know we all saw that Biscuit video, right? We all saw that Biscuit. Let's give him a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for 917 Rackz. So we saw a video of you, Rackz. It was very alarming as a father. I have a 1-year-old. You were wielding guns, toting firearms, playing this New York City drill music, and I've got to ask, it just kind of took me off guard. First and foremost, was there like any type of deeper meaning behind that video?
Which video? The VVV?
I think that's I can't tell you what the name of this song was, but it was you, and you were surrounded by, it looked like a bunch of potential gang members waving and wielding firearms. I just was taken off guard, and I was wondering if it was a music video, if there was any type of other way to interpret what I saw.
I'm really trying to think of what you're talking about. Was it on my story?
It was, well, I'm not trying to incriminate you either. Like, once again,
they're all props.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Yeah.
That's good. That's the right answer. So what gets a kid like you into rap? Because we were talking about it earlier. Hip hop has really changed. Not all of it. It wasn't always deep poetry and conscious rap. There was a lot of gangster rap back in the day and a lot of craziness. But what gets a young man like yourself into this gun-toting, drill, aggressive form of hip hop?
Like, I guess everything around me. It's like, it's the new wave. It's what I love doing too. It's like, I don't know. I just really started listening to it in like 6th grade. That I fell in love with it. Like
917 Rackz. What's up, baby?
What's up?
So I gotta ask you a question. I want to ask you 2 questions. One, how old are you?
I'm 16 now. I just turned 16.
All right. That being said, you said you're a big fan of old school hip hop.
Decently. My mom would play it a lot, so I'm used to it. But I like the modern hip hop a lot better.
All right.
That's what
I guess my question is, are you a lyricist?
Yes.
All right. Can you spit something for us real quick with no beat so we can hear the lyrics?
Okay. Hold on. Might need a beat. Hold on. Can I pull up something in my notes?
Absolutely. But could you do it without a beat?
Of course.
I just want to hear the lyrics.
Let's get it. All right.
I like that.
Look.
I like this.
Still yo stepping when I'm on court, call the Jets for drill and they on board. I'm moving tactical. Why you so pressing? I ain't even mad at you. What you been store for? In Miami, that's national. When I shoot like they heat bullets flammable. Shooters, they all scores. Just being practical. She ain't eating the meat like a cannibal. What did she call for? Headshot. Passport him. He ain't shoot for the game that we backdoor him. Choking him out. We gon' blackboard him. I'm up in the score. I'm a dashboard him. All this shit new to me. I still walk around in the hole my jewelry. No, my body ain't no fooling me. Your dress be the mop, not get top with the boom on me. Should know how to move when you rap out me. They don't move the same with the strap on me. Shots fired. If you chap out me, shots fired. Try robbing the pack on me. Look, I got this shit to go boom, boom, boom. Look, I got this shit to go rah, rah. I got to work like a classmate.
All right, my man. Let me stop you right there. Now, can you do it with the beat?
Can I do it with the beat?
I want to hear what that sounds like with the beat.
With the beat, I don't have another device currently. I can go to another room.
Y'all don't have an automatic beat.
Nah, I'm in a shout out Void Studios. I'm in the. What? Nah, I got the beat on my phone.
Day. I got the
beat on my phone.
Can he play it off his phone?
You know I got drugs all day.
To a beat he feel comfortable with?
Yo, Sha.
Once again, we've got 917 Rackz in the building. I believe it's his first interview ever. New York City in the building strong.
Like that on the spot. Call out.
That's right. 16 lyrics. On the spot. That's confidence. Love it.
Yeah. It's sending to my manager's phone right now. I'm waiting for it to send.
I noticed your Instagram was removed.
Yeah, I disabled it because someone botted a lot of followers, like thousands of followers. So I had to disable it to stop it. And then I undisabled it and everything was Gucci. And then later that night, a whole wave of followers. And I can't disable it because I could only disable my account once a week. So
it's a new type of sabotage.
I'm gonna get them removed soon.
Firing shots at you.
It's a fact.
Attacked by an internet gangster.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Really though.
The keyboard warriors now.
So your lyrics, a lot of your lyrics are about shooting and what you'll do to the
Sure.
opposition.
Yeah.
Are you a man? Once again, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but are you living the life that you are writing down on paper?
Yeah, I don't like to rap cap. I try to make everything as less misleading as possible. Like I try to tell true facts.
It's okay if it's not telling the truth, I guess. I mean, people seem to accept Rick Ross. Rick Ross seems to.
That. I don't like.
So
that.
you're really about this life.
I think so. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah.
So do we have the beat queued up?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
All right.
I love it. Aries Spears in the building.
Yeah. It's the Ryan Show. Aries Spears, Mr. Cheeks, Ryan 917 Rackz.
I'm moving tactical. Why you so pressing? I ain't even mad at you. What you been so far on Miami? That's natural. When I shoot like they heap is flammable. Shooters, they all score just being practical. She ain't eating the meat like a cannibal. What does she call for? Headshot, pass for him. He ain't shoot for the game. Do we backdoor him? Choking him out. We gon' blackboard him now. Up in the storm, a dashboard him. All the shit. I still walk around in the hole, my jewelry. Know my body ain't no fooling me. You're just be the mob at the top of the movement. Know how to move when you rap on me. They don't move the same with his rap on me. Shots fire. If he tap out me, shots fire. I've been the pack on me. Look, I got this to go boom, boom, boom. Look, I got this to go rah, rah. Yo, on. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a lot of
the only reason why I asked to hear that is because I wanted to see if you sounded like everybody else in terms of because so much
really
of
though, I
today's
see
rap, so much of today's rap, especially with the youth, there's no individuality, there's no self-identity. Everything sounds the same.
I agree. I see a lot of I'm really in tune with the drill scene. So a lot of shit that I watch, all of that, they all rip off somebody else's flow.
Yeah, it's all like
I try to be
it all
different.
sounds like the same song.
I try to be different, really lyrical.
Well, listen, 917 Rackz, I wish you the best of luck, brother. I hope you keep doing your thing and your career takes off to a higher level. Like I said, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but I just wanted to see, especially when you on with somebody like Mr. Cheeks, again, when we come from that era where individuality and lyricism matters. And you seem like you got bars, but I just wanted to hear the melody and the flow. But I wish you nothing but the best of love.
Thank you.
You came right out and you spit too. You know, some people we've had on the show, and for whatever reason, they don't want to be put on the spot.
Yeah, they don't like to be put on the spot, so they don't have something ready. So, like, if you're gonna be a rapper, you gotta have something on deck at all times.
That's a fact. I'm a writer. I take time with my lyrics. I'll be writing all day.
And that's dangerous. If you're taking that sound, that's popular right now, and you're writing some lyrics with it. So who are your favorite writers in hip hop? Like you said, you grew up listening to lyricists through your parents. Who would you say is your favorite lyricist in hip hop?
I'd say M. That's why I kind of relate. That's why I kind of I say Drill Shady because I feel like I'm the most lyrical in the drill scene. So, I'd say that's why I don't really compare myself. That's where the
who do you consider lyrical in the drill scene? Just out of curiosity, because I've only heard a few artists, but no one really struck me as lyrical.
I'd say definitely Busy, Leaky, Coach the Ghost. I started listening to his music. I like it. Coach the Ghost.
So I'm so fucking old because I don't know none of them is on.
Nah, yeah, I'm really tapped in.
I
really listen to a lot of drill.
Naming a cartoon.
A lot of shit I listen to in drill is it's not always lyrical, but they're unique in their own ways. Like they have a different flow. They sound good, so I listen to that. But I still trying to think of more. I can't really think at the top of my head right now. But there's a decent amount of people that are, lyrical in the drill scene. 26AR.
It's like you said though.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
All right.
It's kind of like you said though. People don't.
I'm coming out of Brooklyn, Sheepshead.
Okay.
Are you originally from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, my man, I wish you.
Rolling Roaster.
But again, my man, I wish you nothing but the best. Much continued success. Do your thing. And it just I would say always pay homage to who you learned it from, where it came from. Do your homework. Because no matter how many great white boys, we get in this game, get started this. So just pay that respect. Other than that, do your thing, man.
You already know.
I want to ask the young rappers this sometimes when they come on. Is there's a lot of violence in hip hop these days? It seems, right? Every time I look on the news, it seems like another one of the young up and coming famous rappers who's just about to pop is murdered. Do you ever feel scared to be a part of the hip hop scene with all of this craziness going on here in 2020, 2021?
I mean, yeah, like that's called hate in my eyes. If you kill a rapper just because, like, you know what I mean? Because I heard a lot of stories, and it's because of jealousy. This is just a start for me. Someone buying my followers, someone taking my songs down. That's the start of hate. I'm getting used to it, but yeah, that's why I don't really. If it ain't personal, I'm not beefing about it, or if it ain't about the bread, I'm not beefing about it. You know what I mean?
That's the spirit.
So,
That's the spirit. Yeah, ignore the cyber attacks.
Of course, I tend to talk back a lot to them.
It's tough not to give in to them, but don't let them see you upset. That's how the haters win. It's time for us to actually play some of your music and get to break. I know Aries has to run, and people are very excited to hear what your actual song sounds like. It's one thing to play it through the speaker on the phone, but now we can actually hear it. 917 Rackz in the building. Aries Spears in the building.
Real quick, I just want to thank y'all for allowing me to be on and giving me this opportunity to with y'all. And again, 917 Rackz, much love for you. But don't fall into the bullshit. Just get your money and get your money and get pussy. That's all you got to concentrate on.
Wise words from Aries Spears.
Just do what's enjoyable.
Wise
The bullshit.
I'm a wise man.
Love it.
Hey, Cheeks, man. Respect to you, my guy. Love. Thank you. Again, the podcast, Spears and Steinberg.
I'm DMing you right now, man.
Okay, for sure. DM me for the links.
The Jew and the jerk.
Hit me with your number,
Let's
bro.
go.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Aries, call you. We'll talk to you soon, man. Appreciate you.
No doubt, baby.
One more time, folks. This is 917 Rackz. We're going to be playing his music. Check the IG story to see the video and save your hateful comments for somebody else, okay?
Like, what I learned, the only reason for people to hate is if they jealous. Like, I said this before. If I don't like something, I'm not going to pay attention to it. If I don't like a girl, I'm not going to look at her. If I don't like something, I'm not paying attention to it. I'm going to scroll by. The fact that they taking it, like, I really have haters that go on all my videos and comment and reply to other people. That is definitely not hate. Hate is love in that scenario.
Look at Tekashi, right? Yeah. I mean, people seem to just want to watch it. They want a reason to hate. It's just as, like, appealing as a reason to like, it seems. But are you going out of your way to get people upset? Or are you just living your life and people are getting upset?
Honestly, I'm really just living. They get it. I don't know what they're getting so upset for. If they say something, I'm going to talk back and I'm going to try to offend them. But that's their fault. I'm not the one that started that argument. Is
there anybody around you that is worried about you when they do see the videos of you, though, and how you're getting into this lifestyle, considering there are rappers being killed and there's a lot of gun violence in New York City right now?
Especially now in the city in Brooklyn. And
I just gotta be careful. Just gotta be on point at all times. That's all that I'm getting from all this. Just gotta be on point. There's nothing I could do about it. That's what's happening. So
that real quick.
Well, I got to admit, I'm more of a peace and love kind of guy myself. But look, I'm gonna pray for you. I know the streets get real. I'm gonna pray the streets are good to you, 917 Rackz. Now let's get into some new music. This new song is not normally what you hear on this program. But we're open-minded, all right? We want to do our best to
bridge the gap.
Bridge the gap.
Bridge the gap.
Ryan,
we're doing our best.
That's what we do.
Yep.
That's it. So 917
You gotta go to Jersey to check on the laws. Right?
Yes,
you gotta go to Jersey to check on the laws. You gotta come to Queens to check on the LB fam. Let's go.
That's
you know this. Bridge the gap.
So where can they find you on IG?
917 Rackz.
917 Rackz.
Yeah. Rackz.
How long you been rapping for?
All right, so like when I really came out with like a music video, like I took it seriously type shit, that was 6 months ago. So it hasn't, you know, I've been into music my whole life. Like my mom, ever since I was little, she's playing like mad music, old school, new hip hop, whatever. I liked it throughout.
This is what happens when you play hip hop in your house.
That's it.
Fact, so
it's a product of hip hop. Young 917 Rackz.
It's a fact. I've been
your mom's never played Renee?
She probably did. I don't remember. Like I
Yeah.
was like I'm talking about like little. Like I was.
You're
little
rapping
baby.
for a reason there, buddy. Your mother
Yo,
knows hip hop.
His management shouted you out big time, Cheeks. I got a message from him, and he was like, "Turn it around, let me see something."
In your blood.
So shouts to your management. And really quick, before we play a song, what is the name of your management, 917? Let's give them a nice plug real quick.
Verified Records.
Verified Records. Shouts to my man, Day Dash.
Shout out to Sean McFly.
And dude, we'll be bringing you on again soon. We're excited to see where the progress goes. This is the Ryan Show FM 917. Rackz in the building. Follow him now. DJ Honky Wonky. Spin that white gold, baby.
Rackz.
Just amazing.
Cooler ruler.
Divine, fine.